Okay, so for your last short assignment, we're going to be using the case scenario for Jim again, just like the previous assignments. But for this one, we're going to be looking at acceleration lines, just like we were using in the lecture for this module. So these first two graphs are going to be based off the acceleration lines for Jim. And the first question is, if you were to perform visual analysis only, how would you write up the results of this analysis? So what's going to be really helpful to you here is looking at some of the slides where I have the write-ups in the notes underneath. So you might have remembered from lecture 9, I have some examples of some graphs, and if you pull up PowerPoint, not like I'm showing you in course, but if you pull up the actual PowerPoints that I'm uploading to D2L, you'll see underneath that I have notes here about how to write these up. So this will be helpful for you for the short assignment. Also in lecture 10, I have some write-ups of acceleration lines underneath the slides, so you can find these in the notes section. Hopefully that'll be helpful to you as well for this assignment, because for the second question is to write up the results of the acceleration line. So you could see for this one, during the intervention phase, this is similar to one that I showed from the acceleration lines in class where there's an accelerated rate of reduction and Jim's drinking. So you could use that to help you write this one up. All right, and then for number 3, it says to write up the intermediate results of the mean lines used to analyze Jim's data in the space below. So from here you can see that there would be some autocorrelation. There's not really a trend here. So we could just take the mean lines just like I showed you in class. And based on the mean lines, what would you write up a change from the baseline to the intervention phase here? So you'd want to be talking about the mean and the range in both the baseline phase and the intervention phase. And then the last question is what % reduction on average occurred in Jim's alcohol cravings during the first 3 weeks of intervention relative to baseline. And again, that there's not going to be any draft for your paper. This is just going to be due same time that your paper is due. So I'm going to try to give you another few days to try to make corrections to this. So if you have any questions for short assignment number 5 before submitting it, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just look forward to reading your submissions and get back to you as soon as I've had a chance to grade them.